So J.D. Vance sat down with CNN, he sat down with ABC, and he sat down with CBS. Kamala Harris has yet to do any of this, and she's the nominee, let alone the VP nominee. He sat down for 3. Count it. 1, 2, 3. And he just played them like a fiddle. They didn't know what to do. This was a triple header. Let's play cut 5. J.D. Vance sits down with CNN. Again, this is the gaslighting program. We have a wide open border. We have war looming in every hemisphere. People cannot afford homes. They can't afford groceries. And what does CNN do? They ask J.D. Vance, do you think Kamala Harris is black? This is textbook, blueprint, gaslighting. How do you fight back against gaslighting? Enter stage right, J.D. Vance. Play cut 5.
I believe that Kamala Harris is whatever she says she is, but I believe importantly that President Trump is right that she's a chameleon. She pretends to be one thing in front of one audience. She pretends to be something different in front of another audience. Look, Dana, she's not running a political campaign. She's running a movie. She only speaks to voters behind a teleprompter. Everything is scripted. She doesn't have her policy positions out there. She hasn't answered why she wanted to ban fracking, but now she doesn't. She wanted to fund police, but now she doesn't. She wanted to open the border, but now she doesn't. She should have to answer for why she presents a different set of policies to one audience and a different set of policies to another audience. And I think that's what President Trump is getting at. This is a fundamentally fake person. She's different depending on who she's in front of.
The media used to say that when she wasn't the second coming of Barack Obama. The media used to say, that she has a really bad reputation with her staff and she's unlikable and she cackles and she's kind of fake. And J.D. Vance goes right into it. How do you defeat the gaslighting operation? Like that. You look at them in the eyes. You go on their turf. You go on their networks. We only started to win on COVID when they even started to platform us. The good news is at least they'll platform us right now. And yes, you might have to sit down with Jonathan Karl and Dana Bash. You might have to hear some of their nonsense. 2 months ago, the arguments for keeping Biden was, well, we'd have to use Kamala and she's awful. And the Hollywood crowd, and that's what I love why JD said she's a movie. This is a Martin Scorsese, Quentin Tarantino, Steven Spielberg special. They memory hold all the past and they created this new mirage, and that's what she is. She is a mirage. She's fake, artificial, and she's synthetic. She is scripted. We have the truth on our side. She's a deeply unlikable, not wise person. She is a hologram, and we can turn that light off at any minute. But it's going to first require a massive undoing of this gaslighting project. Remember, she was so hated that she came in dead last in the primary. I have like 5 very simple, fair questions that I would love some reporter to ask Kamala Harris. Vice President Harris, you're running for the presidency. Thank you. You're currently the Vice President of the United States. Did you ever see any moments when Joe Biden showed a mental decline or a decrease in mental acuity? How would she answer that? And then she'll do some sort of thing. Okay, but if that's the case, if you've never saw any of it, then you didn't see what the rest of America saw on debate night? There is no good answer to that, by the way. And that regular, normal, everyday people, they keep on bringing up to me, they're like, well, didn't she know? Of course she knew. She covered for it. And then she was involved in the coup to remove him. J.D. Vance put on a master class. Let's play cut 2. He's sitting down with Dana Bash. This is just the CNN. We got to get to the ABC and the CBS. This is a triple header. And he went 3 for 3. Kamala Harris never could. You think Kamala Harris would sit down with 3 reporters? By the way, these are friendly people to Kamala Harris. Deep down, they're all voting for Kamala Harris. Deep down, they're contributing to Kamala Harris. Deep down, their husbands and their wives are all sitting on boards for Kamala Harris. They're going to cocktail parties and soirees. It would be like, hey, J.D. Vance, can you go sit down with an interview with Charlie Kirk, Breitbart? And if we really throw you a curveball, can you sit down with an interview with the Federalist? These are all friends. This is regime media, and she won't even sit down with them. She won't sit down with Dana Bash. This is cut 2. This is how you break the spell of gaslighting. It's a hypnotic type thing. They make you believe that childless cat ladies is bigger than nuclear war, people can't afford homes, civil unrest, crime in the streets. That's something J.D. Vance said 3 years ago on a podcast. Like, that is a civilizational altering issue. You break the spell by leaning in. Play cut 2.
Okay, you've now asked me 3 questions about comments that I made 3 years ago. I wonder what Kamala Harris thinks about the fact that she supported policies that opened the American southern border. I wonder what Kamala Harris thinks about the fact that she lied to the American people about Joe Biden's middle facility for the office. You are interviewing me, Dana, because I respect the American people enough to sit down for an interview.
I appreciate that.
Kamala Harris has been the nominee for 3 weeks. She hasn't sat down for a real interview.
Believe me, we are asking. You're not going to get a disagreement there.
But the point is, Dana, you've got me for 15 minutes or however long you have me. We should be talking about public policies that matter. How are we going to lower inflation? How are we going to reduce the cost of food and housing? How are we going to close down that southern border? We've talked so little about that. We've talked a lot more about a sarcastic remark I made 3 years ago. I think we should talk about the issues that most Americans care about.
Boom. Owned. Next one. ABC.
What President Trump said, John, is that Tim Walz has supported taking children from their parents if the parents don't consent to gender reassignment. That is crazy. And by the way, Tim Walz gets on his high horse about mind your own damn business. One way of minding your own damn business, John, is to not try to take my children away from me if I have different moral views than you.
Allowing your state to kidnap children to change their sexual identity.
What I just explained to you, I would describe as kidnapping, John. He has absolutely done this stuff. It's not crazy, John. Come on.
It's not.
You should not be able to take people's children away from them.
And that's not what he's proposed.
If you disagree with decisions about gender reassignment, yes, he has proposed that, John. He absolutely has.
It's not happening, and it's good that it is. So which is it, John Carl? They can never be called out to their face. Their automatic thing is, there's no late-term abortions. That's not happening. And J.D. Vance says, yes, it is, John. And then he triples down. And finally, after he beat around ABC, he said, why not one more? CBS, what do you got? I mean, you know the alpha energy, the baller attitude that it takes to go 3 for 3 on Sunday shows? I mean, just most politicians, they prep all week. It's all very scripted, and they all leak the questions in advance. JD says, who you got? Come on in. Who do you got? Come on in. You got Burns? You got Carl? What kind of C-rate person you got at CBS News? Oh, you want to ask me about Xi Jinping? Sure. Play cut 8.
President Trump said Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi were lovely individuals when he was speaking in Montana last night. Do you agree with that characterization?
I think that President Trump gets along with world leaders, and there's nothing wrong with him complimenting them as people if it makes him more effective diplomatically. And there's an irony here.
That's different than walking in and laying down the law to Xi Jinping.
Oh, no, it's not actually, because you're better able to lay down the law like President Trump did if you actually have a good relationship with people and they trust you to follow your word. We have to remember that Democrats, including Kamala Harris, attacked Donald Trump for having a good relationship with Vladimir Putin. Well, when Donald Trump was president, Vladimir Putin didn't invade another country. When Kamala Harris was vice president, he did. So maybe they should take a lesson from Trump's playbook about diplomatic legitimacy, because I think Donald Trump got a lot done because world leaders respected him.
One day we're going to find out that NBC News was number 4 and they canceled. So seamless, so smooth. He's a natural. How do you defeat the gaslighting operation? That is how. You go on their turf. You look at them in the eye. You confront the lies. You educate millions. We have 84 days till counting day to defeat the most aggressive, sinister gaslighting operation in American history. We better win.